It's going all right. Man, it was busy today. I did a lot of work outside. A lot of stuff. Me and Andrew went for a walk today. That was fun. Without the dog pulling me all over the place. Then after you and I went for a walk after dinner, I took him around the block and there was this one lady, I don't know why, but she's got to feed every critter in the world. And there's a couple ducks outside and he went bazonkers trying to get the ducks. So much for a peaceful walk, right, buddy? So much. Well, you ain't gonna see him with the screen share. Or we got we got the old Discord backdrop going. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get started, and we'll game where he can. I think he's around somewhere. He can catch up. So, as we talked about a little bit on Sunday, um, oh, hey, Lashia, welcome. We talked about on Sunday the the fact that we're going to give Discord a little bit of a chance here, um, as well as trying, to figure out a more permanent home for our website and stuff. So, a couple of things that we developed, or I developed over the last couple of days, was um, I went on Wix. Wix is a website builder. It's probably one of the best ones. Well, it's rated number one every year. But anyway, I didn't know they had this, but they have a forum style website creator where you can actually make your whole site a forum site where you can have posts, members, that kind of thing. And so I thought maybe I'd screenshot it, let you guys see it, and see what you think. And I thought maybe over the next few days I would show you different, a couple different ideas that I have. But mainly everything that I'm going to show you, it's basically going to have Discord as the video audio chat part of it. So I found, well, let me just show you rather than wasting time trying to say, how you doing, Lashia? Welcome.
Is that Andrew?
That's Andrew. Yeah.
Oh my god. Look a lot different than I thought you would look.
Yeah. Uh oh, my dog. He's barking already. Had to bring him in. Now he's in the living room barking at my mom. I might have to. Uh oh. She gets him going though. She irritates him. You guys talk for a second. I'll be right back. I gotta go. Hey, stop it.
Okay, how you doing, Andrew? Holy
Stop
god.
How are you?
I'm surviving. I'm waiting for my truck to get done, getting a replacement tire.
Ah,
How's life for you? How's life for you, Andrew? Pretty good? You doing alright?
yeah,
Yeah, that's
pretty
good.
good.
Oh man, that dog is crazy. Um. All right, let me see if I can run a screen share here. Been a while since I used this, so there. Wow, I can't believe I remembered how to do it. All right, let me see if I can get into that. All right, so you guys can see this and everything. I assume, right? Yep, I know you can see it. All right, great. Let me go back and let me get out of the Discord. Okay. All right. So basically, let me show you what it looks like. All right. So that's the home. That's the home page right here. You got a Giphy up here, and then you got. This is what it looks like when you come on. You got basically your forum categories, and then you can click on the forum, and then you can read a forum post. Something like that. It's kind of slow right now for some reason. Probably because I got so many things. All right, so that's basically what it looks like when you write a forum, and then you can share it. You could. This is what we would use for FeedSpot. We would send out from here these posts, and we'd have a URL or a website domain, um, and then that's the way that we would get traffic back to this website. But let me just, it's basically that's it. There's not a whole lot to it. We could actually put videos up. There's a blog, and then but this is what I want to show you. There's members. You join this, and when you join it, you become a member. When you become a member, you can message other members, private message. You can also friend request. It doesn't have any kind of like video chat or anything, but we're going to be using Discord, so we don't need it. But this would allow you to be able to come on and chat if you needed to on here, or if we're basically going to use it to stage our videos and also our post so that we can get traffic. Okay, so this is the idea. Now I'm going to put a button on here that people can click on, and they'll go automatically go to Discord, our Discord server. But what I did was I did a there's this thing called Zapier, and what it does is it allows you to create integration between different sites. So I was able to create what they call a zap. Talk about zapping people. We made fun of that for a long time. But a zap is basically an integration between Discord and Wix. Whenever I post in the general discussion channel, it sends a link to Discord telling them to join our website here. So it keeps the website and Discord connected. And then when people are on the website, they can click the button and go to Discord. So it's a bridge back and forth, that kind of a thing. Now, this is just one idea that I have. It's not something that I'm even saying that we would do. But what do you think of that idea so far? I mean, it's pretty simple. You guys could post in there as well. I mean, anybody could write a forum post, or you can reply. That's the idea now, and that's the whole idea of that chat is that you would come in and you would reply to things as we start discussions. Now, the idea is that once we're getting traffic from FeedSpot, they would come and they would join the forum, and kind of like a Reddit situation or whatever you want to call it, people would come in and they would answer the post. They would reply to it, and that's how you get traffic from FeedSpot. So we're hoping that we could have like our own personal little Reddit site where people are posting on it, they're replying, and then we would also reply. But down the road, as we start advertising on other sites, we would link them back to the forum, and then they would be able to post, and that's how we would get traffic. Now that would also allow us to increase traffic to here to Discord, because once they join us in the forum, they're going to probably want to chat with us, and if they do, we can, easily we can get them involved in Discord. A lot of people are already on Discord, and so if you're already on it, that's even better. It's simple. Then you just give them a link, and they're able to click on it. So, all right. So that's that idea. What do you think of that so far? All right. The other idea I have, and I'm not going to do it tonight, but maybe either next meeting or whatever, I want to look at Lark, because Lark, I looked at Slack again, but Slack is just like Discord. It's like it would be redundant to have two of them. Wouldn't make any sense. The forum site makes sense because it's not anything like Discord, and it has really no video or audio chat. So Discord would make a perfect fit for it. But Lark is totally different than Slack and Discord in that it has its own channels, integrations, its own stuff, and every channel has a video chat room and audio chat room, and it's mobile. It's really good mobile. It's actually, it was created to be a mobile first site, so it's very good on mobile, which is something that we're looking for big time. But we'll look at Lark another day. Before we got time, we don't have to rush into a decision. We're not going to do that, and I don't really think we rushed into Circle. I think that we had good intentions of using it. It's just like we said, they had some real problems with the mobile, and their site just really, unfortunately, I think they're only helping out the large sites now on there. Small sites like ours are not going to get any attention, and that's kind of why we had to get off of there. Yeah, Discord does have an embed server widget option, but it's one of those things where you got to know how to configure it. Which I looked at it. It's it's a bot. Maybe GameWare, you would be able to look at it and see if you can figure it out, but it has to be configured, and it would work. And I think it would be better than just a zap, a zap to their, something that would actually integrate into the site where you could have Discord post and Wix would be facet. I mean, it can be done. It's definitely doable. Even if we had to, get somebody to do it, it's very doable. But I haven't had a chance to really look at that to see if it's just putting some code. We'll have to look at it. If it's just creating a code, we could do that easily and paste it into Discord. I mean, into Wix. But the problem is there just aren't a lot of community forums out there that are any good. I mean, the ones that are really good are like Discord or what we're already on, and Zap. But I think we could definitely, you know, keep looking. This is my timeline. Um, I want to really get with you, Game Warrior, and figure out, maybe talk to Forrest too, because he said he would help. And also, Andrew, we were talking today, and Andrew would like to learn how to work with the bots. So maybe you and Andrew could get together, Game Warrior, and you could teach him how to do some things, and he could help you. Um, and that would be awesome. I mean, then he's got a server too, so we could, also help him. But we're going to put a channel. I think maybe, would you want to put your Tree Firmly Planted podcast in there, or whatever you would want to do? We could we could put that on here as well. So, but what I want to do is, I found a couple of bots or programs that you can use to get members, random people, because we've been bumping the server as far as I know, and we haven't had any. Again, it's kind of what happened before. We haven't had anybody yet, but I know you have to be on the server, and you have to be constantly putting out posts in order for Discord to work. That's the only way it works. And so what we would need to do is start loading this site up with posts. And a chat on Discord is kind of like, it's like throwing, we used to call it uh, I can't think of the word. Like throwing out a piece of bologna to a fish, chump bait or whatever. You have to throw out a post is like bait, and then the sharks come in and they attack it. Well, that was a Wire Club in a nutshell. We would post, and then the trolls would sharks would come in and attack our post and try to argue with us. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about we could actually. There you go, a shark. Oh, that's good. That's why I like this, because you could actually do this kind of. This is the kind of stuff that I went to theological school for, so I could do Giphy files and things like that. I studied theology so I could post Giphy files and short videos. But it's like, one of the things that I realize is, so if you post on here, that's when you're going to get reactions, and you're going to start getting. We had that at one point. We actually had chat going on here pretty good, where people were posting all the time. We do have about 20 people or more that are just here that we need to reconnect with. And I think once they see that we're on here again, and we're starting to invite them, right, we'll start getting them into the services. I believe that. And then we can go from there. But we need to definitely, if we're going to start FeedSpot, then we got to have a definite site to use, because what FeedSpot does is it uses your website URL and your post to link it to their site, and then they take your post and they recommend it like a YouTube video to their audience, which has millions of viewers. So this is the best way possible to get your content out there, our content, which is, by the way, while I'm on that thought, this is how I do meetings. I'm very random. But we kind of maybe are thinking about changing back to, instead of not Jesus Connect, but we originally or had talked about doing Christian App as a name. Christian app because we thought maybe if we had that as a domain, when people search for Christian app or Christian apps online, because what you could do is you could put Christian app as your main domain, and then on a website it gives you your phrase or whatever your website is about. You could put Christian apps, and now you've got it covered. Christian app, Christian apps. But when you're thinking about that, somebody clicks online and they're looking for a Christian app. How many times a day in the world does that happen? Well, at least, I don't know, probably more than 100. So let's just say they click that, and I've already looked at the, if you Google Christian app, one of the sites that pops up is a Christian Appalachian Mountain, Appalachian Mountains, a ministry, and then not very much pops up under just that title. You get if you do Christian apps, then you get more sites that pop up in it. But anyway, it could be a way for us to get random people simply by using that domain. It would give us some free traffic, so we could still, God talk. It's still, we could still use that. We could use Christian app as a domain. A number of different ways to do that. But if we use Christian app, then we need to have sort of something that's mobile, and that's another problem is if we use Wix, it doesn't have a mobile app, but it's very mobile. I mean, it's mobile friendly, but it doesn't have an actual mobile app. Now, Lark, on the other hand, does have a mobile app, and it has a good one. So that's something to consider as well. So when we're talking about all these different things, when we're talking about what's the best way to go, what's the best thing to do, obviously we want to think about how we're going to approach getting people. That's number one. And of course, honoring Christ and preaching and the ministry and all that, which we already know is going to be center. But having said that, um, we could use Discord as our mobile app, our notifications, and everything else since we're already using it. We don't have to change the name. We can keep it Jesus Connect. Um, However, if we use Wix, if we use Lark, and that becomes our website, then we could just call that Christian app or whatever. I don't know what you guys think about that, but when you're talking about free traffic, that's always a good idea. And domain name is huge because, like I said, if people are looking for a Christian app, we want to be able to offer them that. So people, they want to study the Bible. People want to know God. I want to make the server here. I want to change it in the description to this server is open to everyone, especially those who feel rejected, who feel left out, and who feel like they don't belong anywhere. We want you to know that you're welcome here, you belong, and Jesus loves you or whatever. Because me and Andrew, we were talking about this today, and Andrew brought something up that I thought was pretty insightful. We were talking about this idea, and then he said, "Well, a lot of these groups out there, the protesters against Israel, the LGBT people, all that, they're joining these communities, right? So that they can feel the youth are joining them, so they feel accepted, so they feel like they're a part of a cause, they're a part of something, and there's a driving need to feel accepted, and that's true, and even in our community, in the Christ community." Can I get an amen? Amen. So what we need to do is we need to capitalize on the idea of that and offer this community on Discord for young people that feel left out, that feel like they don't belong anywhere, misfits, rejected. How many young people are in that boat? Instead of committing suicide, instead of shooting a school up, instead of all those things, you know, why not try Jesus and give them a cause, give them something to join? And we're going to create studies and Bible studies and that and programs, and I say programs, activities, whatever. We need to have activities. We need to have games. I said before, if you're going to reach youth, you got to have something to bring them to. So these are the ideas that I have for this server. We're going to change that around. We're going to make it more about reaching youth because that's what this site is about. I know there's older people on it. Actually, there's millions of people on here, I guess. I just haven't seen them. Maybe they'll start coming in. So we just need to work on the server now and kind of go from there. Once we get the server going, like we want it, then we can start seeing, you know, the numbers, see how many people start coming in. We just don't want to have the we just don't want the robots to take over. By the way, AI is, I don't know if you guys have done any research on chat is it GPI or whatever that is, GPT or whatever. And this is AI chat where you can, you know, speech to text, and you know it'll put pictures up. It'll basically, you could actually tell it to do something. You know, this is kind of the idea behind AI now, how it is starting to infiltrate everything. And I've done some research on it. I'm not really wanting to get into that right now yet, but there are some things that AI can do that's helpful. And one of them is basically being able to uh, use these robots and things on here to help us. We don't want to get too many robots like Dalen had. God bless him. He had a lot of robots going, and then they were starting to take over things. Pretty soon, you know, you'd be posting, and it would tell you can't post that, and it's like wow. But so we don't want to get, you know, that crazy. But there are some things that I think could be helpful, and as long as we have control over it and not them or they. Once they control everything, then it's Twilight Zone all over again. The best AI, though, the best AI disaster was in that Twilight Zone where the lady is taking care of her her grandfather, and he's always working in his shop, and he built this computer or this robot, and the robot would he was building the robot, and he wouldn't let her into his laboratory, and she was always wanting to go in and snooping around, and he'd never let her in, but he'd always tell her to go get me some hot cocoa, and I want it in a old English bone china, and it's got to be hot. If it's not hot, I'm going to throw it in your face. Basically, that's what he would tell her. He was very mean to her. He was always he would he would always have the curtains closed. It was dark in the house and all this stuff. But she was going to inherit all of his money as soon as he died. She thought, well, when he dies, I'll be free of him and I'll have all this money, so I'll just put up with it. Well, she got mad at him and she pushed him and he fell down the stairs and broke his hip. And then he was on crutches and then he died. Well, after he died, she's all ready to go out, on the town, having fun and all this. And this guy lawyer comes by and says, well, all the money's yours, but he had one final request. And she's like, okay, what is it? He goes, I don't know, but it was something in his laboratory. And so they went down the laboratory, and here's this robot walking with a crutch. And they turn it on, and it's the grandfather come back to life in the robot, ordering her around. The first thing it says is, I want my hot cocoa. And the guy's like, you have to take care of the robot. So now she has to take care of the robot the rest of the robot's life. That's an AI story, horror story that could come to pass. Not in the same way, but you have to be careful with it. But anyway, so my timeline is to use this, try to get it going as best we can, and then in July, which is a couple months away, kind of reevaluate. How is it going? Are we getting new people, or how are we able to use this and engage how we're doing? Because one thing I don't want to do anymore is stay on something too long. We've done that in the past, and it's come back to bite us. I mean, sometimes you have to be patient with a platform. Like on Rabbit, we were patient, and God blessed us on there. We saw a lot of growth. Wire Club was the same way. Even on Cosme, we've had some activity, and we still are on Cosme. In fact, that's another platform that we need to get on there and try to work. But if we can continue the outreaches, reaching outside of Discord and trying to get people to come into Discord now, because it seems like this is going to be the platform. And by the way, since we don't have Circle anymore, instant message, if you need to get a hold of me, we're not really using Telegram anymore. At least you can always use Telegram as an emergency. If you can't get a hold of us on Discord or whatever, you can always use Telegram. It's funny how Telegram has become like, it's almost like a Rolodex or something that we use, a digital Rolodex. If you really need to get a hold of me, you could get a hold of me on there. But you can get a hold of me on Discord now. Just instant message me or whatever. This is how I'm going to communicate with you guys about events, things like that, whatever. So we've got some people that we're reaching out to on here. That's the next thing. I don't know what happened to our friend in England, Silver, but after Christmas, I messaged her a few times. She was very happy to hear from me, and I thought things were going pretty well, and then I haven't heard from her now in like 2 or 3 months. So pray for her. I don't know if she's ill or if she's just having computer problems or technology, whatever. But she's somebody that I thought was a good, person to have on. She was always praying, and she had a lot to say. And she would come in and talk and talk and talk and talk. And sometimes, I mean, literally, if everybody was gone, I would have to sit there and I'd listen because, she didn't have anybody in her life. And she would just talk. We'd talk for an hour or more, and then that would be it. But you have to try to do what you can. So that's kind of the timeline on this. And I think that's a good amount of time to see how we're doing. Now, hopefully we can FeedSpot will start working, and some of these other things that we're trying to do. Facebook campaign is an interesting, depending on how you look at it. We actually had 20 or more real contacts, which means somebody actually didn't just read the post or whatever, they actually commented on it or they liked it, whatever. If those 20 people get converted over to the page and they become people now that are able to see the post, and when we're posting on, it's a Jesus Connect page. If you're posting on there, you can post the events, you can post anything. And now you can put Discord link up. This allows people from those campaigns to actually interact with us now and become a part of what we're doing, and that's the goal. Now, if out of those 20, one person says, "Oh yeah, I want to be a part of your site, I want to help you," then that was worth it because we didn't spend a lot of money, but it was worth it if we get one person. So my thought on Facebook is we need to do another one, but we need to figure out what's the best way to set it up. Is it to just set it up so they can join Discord, or is it set it up to join the website? That we'd have to have a website to send them to, but hopefully we can figure that out. But if we can do another one and just see how it goes, I think now I have a better idea of how to tweak it to make it better. Um, the problem with doing, there's a couple thoughts on it. Number one is if you're inviting people to a live stream event, which is what we've been doing, there's pros and cons on that. Number one, a lot of people won't join a live stream that they've never been a part of because they just won't. So you might be wasting your time to do it that. But if you invite them to a page, just simply to join a Facebook page, they're already on Facebook. It's not a big deal. And if you can get them to the page, I thought about this. If you can get them to the page, then you got them because they're gonna see your post. You can instant message them. You can friend request them. You can get them, involved. That might be a better strategy because, like, if somebody, unless you're doing like a live concert, how did you get in here? He must have opened the door. I don't know how he did that. The husky opened the door. Wow, that's crazy. So anyway, I like that. That's what he did. He busted the door. Now he laid down, so that got him calmed down. But anyway, if we can if we can tweak those campaigns to where we can get people. Now there is some thought I've given to creating a Facebook page for God Talk or whatever, but I don't think we need to do that. Jesus Connect covers it all. That's the main. We always said that would be the main, uh, platform for everything that we do. Now we said God Talk was kind of like a chat outlet, outreach of Jesus Connect or whatever. It doesn't really matter. We're just getting into names now, but that doesn't matter. Yeah, he came in the room. I don't think my mom let him out, but that door, unless you lock it, it's not set right. If you hit it, if you bump it, it'll open. So he must have bumped it and opened it, and he laid down. So now he's laid down. So um, I guess that's kind of what we're thinking. That's our thoughts right now. I would like to work the next few weeks on the server, making activities, having activity nights. I mean, like I said, we can do our Bible studies on Thursday still. We can do a live stream. We're going to sync it to 5 different sites on Sundays. So our Sunday service will be on YouTube Live in Discord, but we'll also be on Facebook. We'll also be on Flutin has a community in and of itself. That's where we stream from. Now, Flutin, for like I think $10 a month, you can join their community, and they actually do. We've actually had people from Flutin join our live streams, so it's worth it. Even if, like I said, we're just trying to reach people any way that we can. So what we're going to do is stream on Sunday nights, and then Saturday nights are open. We could do an activity night. We could do a game night. We need to do these things. Why? Because if you can, we can create events on here, and those events we can send that out. Now we need to figure out. This is something that we need to figure out. If you guys can do any research on this yourself, is figure out how we can get an event broadcasted over Discord. There's got to be a way to do it that we're not doing. I know you can bump the server, but beyond bumping the server, I know that there's another one I found randomly that I'm looking at. But if there's a way that we could advertise it or get it broadcasted out where we have a game night or we have one. Now, one way is to join a bunch of servers, right? Christian servers or whatever. And then, if you get to know the owner of the server, you got to make sure that you don't just post things because they'll just kick you out. But like, if you can get to know, if we can remember how we were doing that Game Warrior, where we would find people that wanted to partner with us. If we can find anybody that wants to do that, that's a way that you could advertise on another server, and you could encourage them if they have an event, they could and do it on our server as well. And that's one way I know that we could actually get more people to our Discord channel. But there's got to be a way to do it that we're not seeing. And so let's look into that. Let's research it and see what we can find out, and then probably maybe reach out to Dalen and see what he's up to these days. See if he's got any ideas. I know he was helping us a lot with making those bots, but I think he also helped us a lot to get the word out about us. But anyway, that's kind of